We have in verse 2, he says, he's made my mouth like a sharp sword. My mouth like a sharp sword. So in case we're not sure who he's talking about, hold your place here. Let's go to Revelation chapter 1. This is not only talking about, likely a little bit, it's talking about Isaiah himself, but it's really referring to Yeshua. And you're going to see Hebraically what we have going on is layers and depth, where verses can be talking about one thing on a very simple level and be talking about deeper and layered things. So it's a type and a shadow, or it's multiple fulfillments. And so he's saying he hid me where? He says in the scroll, in the roll of the book, it was written concerning me. He hid Yeshua in the Old Testament. He hid Yeshua in the scrolls, in the Torah. All of these things, the sacrifices and everything, all pointed to aspects of him and his role in the whole process of this. But he said, look, these are shadows. The Colossians are being attacked as you do for keeping the Torah, not for not keeping it. I don't know how Christianity has that all upside down and inside out. They're not being attacked for eating pork or for eating shellfish or for drinking who knows what drinking that's inappropriate. He said, don't let people judge you in Sabbaths and new moons. Who was keeping Sabbaths and new moons? Okay, maybe the pagans did something about the new moon, but they certainly weren't keeping Sabbaths. See, part of this identity issue that we're going through is also to understand his plan. You know, when he started off with Avram and said to Avram, before he even became Avram, he said, I'm going to make you the father of many nations, of many goyim. We can now see how that plan is playing out. He says, I know people are speaking badly and saying he rejected, blah, blah, blah. This is still going on today. There are those out there still saying he rejected Judah for sure, especially in the Messianic body and in Christianity. Oh, Judah's been rejected. Sure, they love the physical land of Israel, but they may be not loving the Jewish people. He's rejected them. Well, they're still part of this, I'm going to turn back their captivity thing and have compassion on them. He says, I am taking the stick. I am bringing them together. I am taking the children of Israel from among the Gentiles, wherever they're gone, and shall gather them. This is going to be on a much more supernatural level than it's going to just be, oh, my particular little organization, MTOI or MJAA or whatever group, you know, all the alphabet soup that's out there. UMJC, ARI, ABC, you know, B'nai Yeshua, B'nai Ephraim, it doesn't matter, and I'm not picking on any of them. It's not going to be done just through one of these human organizations. You know why? Because the human organizations aren't even working with each other. But then on top of it, we have to have teachers teaching that it's okay for Jew and Gentile to actually act like Jew and Gentile, and then somehow they're one in Messiah. Not if you're still Jew and Gentile, you're not. That goes for the Jews too. They're going to have to be Israel. You can't just look at yourself, well, I'm a Jew. No, you're Israel. I'm a Gentile. Well, you get a choice. Are you going to act like a Gentile or are you going to act like an Israelite? Are you going to choose your citizenship? It's citizenship by choice. Cleanse them means I'm going to teach them how to be clean. You know, it's kind of like a parent has this with a child. The parent cleans a bunch of stuff. It's all washed and clean. The child puts on the thing that's been cleaned. It runs out in the mud, comes back out, and the parent's like, why did I even bother to clean it if you're just going to get in the mud again? Well, that'd be the same thing like claiming the shed blood of Yeshua and then going immediately and doing the same things you needed to shed blood for in the first place. What's the point of that? You need to shed blood because of the things you did. It's not the shed blood doesn't mean that now you can do them with no penalty. It means that you're supposed to stop doing them. This is all about your identity, discovering your identity. So you need to discover and understand who you are and who you're supposed to be. You may have been Yehuda. You may have been Ephraim. You may have been the companions of Yehuda or Ephraim. In other words, you may have been just straight goyim that decided then to attach yourself as a companion. For most of you, it was a companion of Ephraim. And yet, you know that once you attach yourself, that you change your identity, you become Israel. And you're waiting on the day when he takes the two sticks in his hands and he brings them together into one. So he says, I'm going to whistle for them and gather them and I shall ransom them. What kind of ransoming is he going to do for the lost Israelites? Yeshua said, I've not come except for those who are lost among Israel. So who paid the price for the ransom? Yeshua did. So that's part of, he said, that's the reason I'm here. I'm here to give my life. Yes, I do it for the whole world, but primarily I'm doing it for the promises made to Israel so I can redeem Israel and anybody that wants to become Israel. Some of you are now first discovering him because maybe you were true Gentiles. But those who are Israel, somewhere deep down, there's a reconnecting going on as you're remembering. Some of you, and it doesn't necessarily mean anything, some of you, when you first came into services, in a Messianic service, and you first heard the liturgy, it's almost like you remembered something. Some of you, it was not all that comfortable because it was weird and it was different and it was Hebrew. That's okay. Maybe because you either have very, very, very little Israel in you or you're pure Gentile when you first started. But some of you, it sang to you in a different way. Doesn't make you better, by the way, or less, if it didn't. But some of you, it's almost like you're remembering.